Hello gorgeous, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ara and today I have an exciting quick review for you. I'm going to be going over the new Pat McGrath Labs bronzers and the new Chanel Fantasie de Chanel Illuminating Blush. I thought it would be fun to just kind of combine the two and see how they perform. My face is already done for the most part. I'm going to be doing kind of a quick little swatch comparison between the two lightest bronzers, Nude Honey and Naked Desire. I believe Naked Desire is the lightest one. I wanted to see how they compare to one another. So I've done everything except for my bronzer and my blush and highlight. So let me see if I can open this up real quick. This one is Naked Desire and this one is Nude Honey. And let me kind of flip these around for you. I was actually quite surprised because Nude Honey, this one in my right hand, appears to be a little more cool toned than the lightest one, which is Naked Desire. This one's a little bit more neutral. I'm gonna swatch them on my hand. I haven't even touched them yet. And in the winter for Pat McGrath, I am L4 in her foundation, just as a comparison. These are the comparisons. So this one is Naked Desire. This one is Nude Honey. A little bit more cool toned, a little bit deeper. I'm gonna start off with Naked Desire and place that all over my left cheek. Ooh, that's actually a very beautiful neutral shade. I was hoping this one would be the most cool toned just because I'm really fair and I do love a cool toned bronzer, but I also like a neutral, so this would work. I don't have the Fenty in the Sun bronzer. I would love to see a comparison between this shade and that shade. Kind of build it up a bit just so you can kind of see the shade a bit better. Bring it down my neck some because that's what I like to do. So this one is Naked Desire. And again, I am a fair skin tone. It does look really beautiful. I'll have to compare them to some of my favorite bronzers in a different video. Moving on, I'm gonna take my Sigma Powder Sculpt F44 and I'm gonna pick up Naked Honey. Ooh, right off the bat, it's a little more pigmented. Well, a little bit deeper, I guess I should say. But it's definitely a little more cool toned. Which I do like that. So I may end up getting a little more use out of this one. Ooh, I think I may have picked up a little bit too much. Yeah. That's okay. It'll make it easier to kind of do a comparison because I built it up on the left side of my face for the other shade. And I do want you to be able to see the shades themselves. Oh, my baby hair's in the way. Okay. This is Nude Honey. It is a bit different. I can see the subtle differences in person, in my mirror. Hopefully you can see them on camera. The Nude Honey is a bit more cool toned. I do really like that more. I've been, especially this year, kind of on the hunt for more of a cool toned bronzer, especially in the cream format. The formula is just like the blush formula, if you're familiar with it. It's very soft, it's very flattering, very blurring. I would definitely say it's blurring. Yeah, I would definitely say it's blurring. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. It's not necessarily a flat matte. I mean, I'm looking at it even on the back of my hand and it doesn't look like a flat matte. It does look like it's more of like a softer satin matte, which Might not be coming across on camera, but it doesn't look drying. There's a lot of powder products that, like I have powder bronzers that just look drying on the skin. This doesn't look drying. I'm gonna take a Refer #1 brush and go into Naked Desire, and I'm just gonna put that into my crease. This does have a decent sized mirror if you do want to use it. I'm going to wipe that same brush off, and I'm going to go into Nude Honey for my right eye, and I'm going to put that into my crease. I mean, they both look very, very, very close. It's almost impossible to tell the difference on the eyes. You'd be the only one to know. For reference, this is the package it comes in. It's a very beautiful, more of a muted blush pink. It has an 18-month shelf life, and there is 0.33 ounces, 9.6 grams of product. I will say though, the one thing that kind of surprised me was the amount of product you're getting for a bronzer. Compared to her highlighters, the packaging itself, I'm not overly fond of the clasp. It's slightly difficult to open. I wish it were more like the highlighter. She tends to give you a little bit more highlighter. The highlighters are slightly larger. They have more of most of them anyway, have the magnetic closure. I go through more bronzer on my face than I do blush and highlight. I feel like to get the most out of my money, I'd rather have more bronzer in a slightly larger pan than I would highlight and blush. I kind of feel like she should reverse the packaging, put the highlight in the smaller packaging and the bronzer in the larger packaging. It would just make more sense overall. Moving on now to the Chanel Fantasy Day Chanel highlighting or illuminating blush powder. This powder has been available in Europe since February, if I'm not mistaken, since February. It wasn't available in the US until April 1st. This powder is a limited edition. It's a blush highlight kind of duo. You might already have some in your collection. The reason I bought this one was because I don't necessarily have this shade, if you will. With all of my other blushes, I'm a huge blush lover. I love blush. I have to have basically as many different shades of blush as possible to match the look I'm going for. And this one, it's Chanel. I'm a sucker for Chanel. It's very, very expensive though. You get 0.24 ounces or 7 grams of product in this. I ordered mine straight from the Chanel website, and I requested the cloth bag. The blush comes in the soft outer packaging, sort of like all of the other products that they sell, but if you've got anything from Tom Ford, it comes in the little velvet pouch. It does come with a little mini fan brush in this pouch. I definitely won't be taking it with me. I probably will never reach for it, but it's nice to have if you're in a pinch or you just need to throw it in your purse. So for the blush, the packaging is not as luxurious as I would have loved. It's definitely in the same packaging as all of their other blushes. I wish it were a little bit more weighty. I wish it had a little bit more heft to it. But this is what it looks like. I haven't even swatched it yet. I haven't even taken photos. I definitely need to take photos before I swatch it, so I will have to pause it and come back. But this is what it looks like. It's a very soft baby pink. It doesn't have large glitter particles if you're curious about that. And it's supposed to work as a blush and a highlight. I think I forgot to mention it has an 18-month shelf life. I'm going to swatch it here first before I use it. Let me see if I can show you on my finger. It's a very soft pinky blush. Swatch it next to my bronzer. This is one swipe. It's kind of a thicker swipe. I think it'll translate well on my skin tone. If you're a deeper skin tone, probably more of a highlight. Not really sure how well it would translate on your skin as a blush. And this, by the way, is limited edition. I'm not sure by the time this is going up if it's still in stock. I know they did restock in Europe more than once, if I'm not mistaken. So they may still restock here. I'm gonna start off by taking this on a Sydney Grace powder brush. It's not the largest brush in their line. It's more of the second, and it's tapered and very flimsy. I'm just gonna pick that up a little bit at a time. It's picking up okay. And just kind of gently pat it on first. If I can keep my hair out of my face. And see if I can build it up over time. But it's definitely got a lovely sheen to it. It doesn't have, in case you were curious, sparkle. I can't see any sparkle. And it's building up very easily, so that's a plus. I was worried about that. Oh wow. It's surprisingly easy to build. And it has a beautiful sheen to it. A lovely glow. If you're not into a luminous blush, this is definitely not for you. You're not missing out on anything. The formula is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Is it worth $80? No. No, absolutely not. Some of my Hourglass bronzers, what are they, 45? They're just as beautiful and can kind of give you the same luminosity. And that's for more of a high end. I do want to use it on my eyes though, so I'm going to take a Sonia G Worker brush. This one is the Lotus edition. I'm going to pick that up here. See if I can place that all over my lid, if I can get any color payoff on my eyes with it. Well, it's coming off on the brush okay, so. That's actually very beautiful. I only have mascara on my very short stubby lashes. No lashes today. I have not been feeling 100%, so I'm trying to be careful what I put around my eyes. All right, moving on to the last product I want to mention. I picked up the new Laura Mercier Real Flawless Luminous Perfecting Pressed Powder. This is the one that just came out this week. It is the luminous version of her pressed powder. I should have grabbed one of the bronzers for comparison. It has a blushed pink packaging. It's matte. It's lightweight. The package is more of a curve, which I don't particularly like, but I know it's because of the powder here. There is 7 grams of product in here, 0.24 ounces. It is a 24-month shelf life. I am a sucker for illuminated pressed powder, finishing powder especially. I love a glowy finishing powder. My favorite finishing powder, or luminous finishing powder I should say, is the Chantecaille Lotus Perfect Blur powder. For reference, this is 9 grams of powder. You get 2 more in this one. This one was, I wanna say it was $98. So, if this one can compare to the Chantecaille powder, far better deal. I have a hard time stomaching that one, but it's my favorite. So I have not used a finishing powder yet. I'm actually gonna go in with my Sonia G Master Face. I'm gonna pick that up and just kind of swirl my brush around in there. And I wanna see what it'll do to kind of bring a little bit of glow. I'm very dry skinned. I love everything that glows. If it glows, I love it. Not so much with my blush though. I like more of a subtle glow. Very contradicting. So far, so good. I don't know if it's got more luminosity than the Chantecaille. I will have to do a comparison. But for a pressed luminous powder, this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I definitely don't need to put any more on my face, but it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I think it's my favorite thing I've used so far. More so than the bronzer and the blush. I am obsessed. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Granted, I say that about a lot of illuminating things, so take it with a grain of salt. I'm gonna have to play with this one a little bit more. Definitely need to use it with the Laura Mercier foundation. Today I am wearing the Chanel No. 1, and this is the shade BR12. As I drop more stuff. But I'll have to try it with the Laura Mercier foundation. Kind of going back to everything I've used so far, kind of do a quick recap for you. The bronzers, where did they go? Oh my gosh, get it together. The bronzers, they're beautiful. They're just as beautiful as her highlights and her blushes. The formula is impeccable. Do I think one is going to work better for me than the other? Probably the Nude Honey, only because I have a preference to it. So it's more of a preference. They're both pretty much similar in depth. If you're fair and you think, oh, I don't know which one to get, they're very, very similar and close in depth. The difference is Nude Honey, which is on this side of my face. Nude Honey is far more, I say far more, but it's actually just a little more cool toned. So if you have a preference on the tone and you want something a little more cool, Nude Honey. If you want something a little more neutral, Naked Desire. It's really just personal preference. The blush, it's beautiful, it's luminous, it's flattering, there's no glitter in it, it's subtle, it's elevated, it's chic. Not really worth it. You can definitely get similar in other brands for far less. Now, I don't have this color and I don't have this tone. I don't regret my purchase. I do love fancy, luxurious makeup. But it's not something you are missing out on, if that matters. The Flawless Illuminating Powder, or rather Real Flawless Luminous Powder, whatever. All of these things have way too many things to describe them, long names, everything is getting longer and longer. Absolutely love it. I love it, I love it. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna have to keep using this. I gotta try it with the foundation. I gotta see how it compares. I don't have the matte powder. That's pressed. I have the loose powder. That's it. That's what I've got. Hopefully this was enjoyable for you. You kind of got an idea of a few of these things if you were looking at any of them. The bronzers, they are permanent and they're coming to Sephora, I believe, on the 9th. The Sephora VIB sale starts on the 14th and goes to the 24th. If you're Rouge, it'll start on the 14th, and I believe it's the 17th for VIB. So 20, 15, and 10% off. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in my next video. Do something for yourself today because you are worth it.